Alright, so probably like, bruv, you're late. It's been a month. Well, actually, here's what happened, yeah. So Incredibles only just came out for the UK. I mean, it literally only just came out Friday for us. I know, man, this is exactly what happened with Finding Dory. Now, I know I said I'll be doing a review on Cobra Kai, but you know, I just saw Incredibles 2, so since it's still fresh in my mind, I thought let me just get this out of the way. Also, that Cobra Kai review might not come out for a while because I will be planning on seeing Skyscraper tomorrow as well, so I'll do a review on that and then I'll probably get to Cobra Kai. But anyway, back on Incredibles 2, what I must say is that the first Incredibles is my second favourite Pixar film after, you know, the original Toy Story. And everyone has been waiting for 14 years, man, for a sequel. Nobody wanted Cars 2 or Cars 3, nah, we wanted that Incredibles 2. But the reason why we haven't got it before is because the director Brad Bird wanted to make sure that the film is as good as the first. And well, we finally got it. Obviously when I was at the cinema, there were way more adults than there were kids, because us adults have been waiting for this, man. Okay, so before we touch on the Incredibles, we saw a short film called Baio, and it's the first Pixar short to be directed by an Asian woman called Domishi. And it's basically about this Chinese Canadian woman who gets a second chance, you know, to be a mother after her, you know, dumpling like comes to life and like lives an actual life. And I don't know, it's very cute, but also kind of disturbing at the same time. You know, it was funny, man, it was funny. The animation was on point. And you know, you just have to see it for yourself, innit? I think Pixar should do like more cultural themed shorts in the future. I mean, remember how Rashida Jones left Toy Story 4 and complained that, you know, they weren't treating her right as a woman of color and that? But if you look at Baio, they clearly haven't got a problem with people of different ethnicities taking charge. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, let's just get into this Incredibles 2 already, and this will be completely spoiler free. Right, so the film starts off right when the last film left off. You know, you have the Incredibles battling the Underminer. This catches the eye of this guy called Winston Dever, and he basically wants to make supers legal again. So he chooses Elastigirl as the ambassador of his program, while Mr. Incredible has to stay home and take care of the kids. Then this villain comes up who can control people through television screens by like hypnotism or something like that, and obviously Elastigirl has to try and stop this threat. Now overall, this is not what I initially thought Incredibles 2 would be. You know, I always thought that the sequel would take place, I don't know, maybe 15 years later when the characters have aged a bit and, you know, living in the 70s, but nah, according to Brad Bird, it wouldn't really work because their powers are linked to their roles in the family. You know, the mother being the more flexible and the kid being the most energetic and babies being unpredictable, you know. But anyway, back on the story, the thing is, it's not anything new. I mean, it's very similar to the first. So overall, guys, the movie was very entertaining. Like, there were a lot of things I liked, but there were also a lot of things that I didn't like, which we will discuss. So the villain's name is Screensaver or something like that, and it was so predictable. I mean, the person who you think it is that person. Like, I leaned over to my brother during the film and I'm like, I bet that's the villain, you know. And when they revealed who it was, I was right. My brother was like, you got spoiled, didn't you? But nah, man, I didn't get spoiled for anything. It was just, the film was just too predictable for me. It's not only that, but the villain's plan didn't really make any sense. Like, it's hard to say it without spoilers, but the Screensaver is described as a smart person, but does some really dumb things. I don't know, man, like, this villain was so weak compared to Syndrome in the last one. I mean, Syndrome was way more personal. Like, he actually got stuff done, and, you know, if anything didn't go to his plan, he'd try and fix it. But Screensaver was weak, like, not intimidating at all. He was just dumb. Let's talk about Mr. Incredible. Like I said, he takes a back seat this time, you know, trying to make room for Elastigirl. But Mr. Incredible is like very jealous of like not being in the front and center like he is used to. Some people were saying he actively wanted her to fail, but you know, it's really stated in the film that he wants Helen to succeed so that he can have a chance of being in the front again. And obviously Bob is not in his comfort zone right now, and well, he's just not really a good father. People didn't like this, but you know, it makes sense, because in the last one he did say that he did not have a good relationship with his family, you know, being stuck in the past and that, and now he's actually trying to be a good dad, and since he's never been like the head of a motherly role, he struggles a lot, so I guess it makes sense for his character. The thing I really didn't like about Mr. Incredible yet is that he was definitely nerfed in this one. I mean, I don't know what happened, but his super strength did not really show here. I mean, this is a problem with some of the other characters too, but I'll get to them later. But what I'm saying here is that Mr. Incredible does not show off his super strength as he did in the first one. I mean, even in the opening scene, the Underminer gives him a run for his money. Like, I don't know what happened. This was clearly done to make Elastigirl seem more superior, and you know, in terms of that, I don't agree with that now. This is the same for Dash too. I mean, you think they would expand on his powers, but then he just never really used his powers. In this one, Dash is just a bit more childish than he was in the first. I mean, okay, right. Alright, Dash in the first one, he wanted to prove himself because, you know, he was restricted to the expectations of society and that. And, you know, by the end, he was able to use his powers to his full potential. And he learned to control it, and by the end, he grew and he matured. But, like, in this, it's, like, completely out of the window because he's, like, very trigger happy and has no restraint. And you know, he just really didn't do anything in this movie. Violet hasn't changed, and, you know, has a bit more to do on the other hand, because she actually has her own story with, you know, Tony riding Jer from the first one. Only thing is, it's just not as interesting. Like, I understand why they did it, because, you know, it's just continuing from when they left off, but, you know, at least she had an important role, unlike Dash. Frozone was actually better in this than the last one, in my opinion. Like, he had way more screen time and was one of the few characters who actually remained how they were in the first one. Jack was by far the best part of the whole movie, fam. Oh my days, he stole the whole show. I mean, Jack made the film a lot more enjoyable. I'm assuming you saw the film because, you know, it's been a month since it's been in the US, but fam, that Raku scene, bruh, that had me dying. That was the best part of the whole film. So let me just get on some more positives real quick. The action here is infinitely better than the first. And while I did say that Dash and Mr. Incredible don't really use their powers, they compensate with that by, you know, Elastigirl, Jack and some new characters. I mean, you're with Elastigirl for most of the movies, so you really get to see her, you know, her stretching abilities, you know, get to places fast. You know, it felt a lot like Spider-Man, the way she, you know, stretches across the city. There was even some elements of Batman in there too. Like, there's a scene where she has to track something, and that scene reminded me so much of a tracking part from the Batman Arkham City games. You also have these new heroes who show up, and they have really interesting powers. Like, one can crush objects and one can create portals, and this creates really imaginative, fast-paced action sequences. Animation here is also well done, you know, as you would expect with Pixar. You know, all the fabrics are detailed, and the art direction is much more superior here than in the first one. Like, you really do get a sense that this is set in the 1960s. Overall, guys, it's not as good as the first one, but, you know, I wasn't expecting it to be. I would say it's almost as good though, and I would have to, you know, see it a couple more times. My main issue here was the villain, and, you know, the over focus on Elastigirl meant the rest of the family had to be on the side. That was kind of an issue in the first one too, but, you know, at least each character had a moment to shine, like Dash running on water and Mr. Incredible stopping the train with his strength. You know, in this one it's really only Elastigirl he gets most of the spotlight, and Jack of course. The fact that Elastigirl is the lead doesn't bother me at all, you know, I just think it could have been spread more evenly. But yeah, very entertaining film, you will most likely enjoy it. I'll be seeing Skyscraper tomorrow, so obviously I'll be reviewing that next. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the bell. Have a good day and peace.